What if every volcano on Earth erupted at once? Imagine waking up one morning to find that somewhere between 500 and 2,000 active volcanoes around the world have all decided to blow their tops at the exact same second. No warnings, no rumbling, no time to say goodbye to your favorite mountain. Just boom. At first, you might not even realize what's happening. If you're far from a volcano, you'd hear distant thunder and see the sky darken a little. Then your phone would light up with a flood of breaking news alerts, all saying the same thing. Everything is on fire. Within minutes, ash clouds would begin to spread across continents. Air traffic would be grounded instantly. Thousands of planes would have to make emergency landings. Satellites would capture surreal images of the entire planet covered in streaks of gray plumes, like Earth had just lit 1,000 giant cigarettes. The initial explosions would be deafening near the eruption sites. The energy released in the first hour would be roughly equivalent to tens of millions of nuclear bombs. Lava would pour into valleys, swallow forests, and bury towns. But even this destruction would be just the opening act. The real danger wouldn't come from the lava. It would come from the sky. Within a few hours, volcanic ash and sulfur dioxide would begin to block sunlight. By the end of the first day, the planet's average temperature would start dropping. After a week, global temperatures could fall by several degrees. The last time something even remotely similar happened was the eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815, which caused the year without a summer. That was just one volcano. Now imagine every single one. If you were close to an eruption, you wouldn't see much beyond darkness. The air would be thick with fine ash, making it hard to breathe. Vehicles would stall as engines clogged. Power grids would fail as ash short-circuited transformers, and communication would become nearly impossible. The world would go silent, except for the constant rumble of explosions echoing across the globe. Within days, most crops would start dying from lack of sunlight. Photosynthesis would slow to a crawl. Animals would become confused as temperatures plummeted and skies remained permanently overcast. Rain would mix with sulfur to create acid rainfall, damaging everything from metal structures to human lungs. The oceans would begin to cool rapidly, disturbing marine ecosystems that depend on stable temperatures. By the end of the first month, Earth's upper atmosphere would be filled with reflective volcanic aerosols. These particles would bounce sunlight back into space, plunging the world into what scientists call a volcanic winter. Daylight would look like twilight even at noon. Global average temperatures could drop by up to 10 degrees, 18 degrees. Snow would fall in places that hadn't seen it in centuries. People would start to migrate toward the equator, searching for warmth and food. Governments would collapse as infrastructure disintegrated. Air filtration masks would become more valuable than gold. The irony is that while the world freezes on the surface, deep underground, the planet would be burning hotter than ever. After about a year, the constant eruptions would begin to subside. Many volcanoes would have exhausted their magma chambers. But by then, the damage would be done. The global food supply would have collapsed. Forests would be gone, buried under meters of ash. Rivers would change course entirely. Sunlight would slowly return, but the Earth we knew wouldn't. The atmosphere would remain filled with haze for decades. When the skies finally cleared, survivors, if there were any, would see a planet reshaped. New islands would have formed where underwater volcanoes erupted. Entire mountain ranges might have been born in a single day. And yet, life would eventually adapt. Humanity might rebuild, telling legends about the year the sky turned to fire. So, could all volcanoes actually erupt at once? Realistically, no. Volcanoes are not connected like Christmas lights. One doesn't trigger them all. But the thought experiment reminds us of how thin the line is between the stable planet we take for granted and the chaotic, molten one hiding beneath our feet. If every volcano erupted at once, we wouldn't need an asteroid or nuclear war to reset civilization. The Earth itself would do the job just fine.